Hi, Sonika.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
Richard, you're on mute.
Yes, I am. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
A little sore throat right now, but getting by. Doing too many of these late night webinars and early morning webinars, but it is the life of what I do.
Right. Okay. So actually, Dakshita, I thought before we start, we'll discuss on to Gurleen's case, because then if everybody will join, we'll not get a chance to discuss about that.
Okay, so there's one applicant, Richard, who has applied for September 2020, but then there's no revert on that. So, can you please check that if that is possible? Otherwise, we can email Dawn about it.
I'm sorry, when you say reward, or what do you mean by
Yeah, they have
like there's
applied.
no?
Yeah, they have applied. In the last call only, I told that they have applied directly, and now they are not able to get the status of the student. So, anything that you would like to tell us over there? Sonika, can you please tell me the student name once again so that I can send it to Richard?
Yeah. Student's name is Gurleen.
Do you have a student number?
Yeah, just a second.
I might be disconnected, but just give me a sec.
Student's full name is Gurneet Singh Hanspal.
Gurneet.
Right.
And do you have the student number?
Yeah, I'm just checking. 1 second.
Yeah, it's 2301
2301
45502.
45502.
Correct. Gurneet Hanspal.
Sorry, I'm connecting to our system at the university,
Right.
and it seems to be very slow right now. So just give me a second here.
Yeah, sure.
Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yes, we are able. So Zubin, 7 attendees have joined from your team. Do you want me to transfer them to panelists so that they can communicate with Richard, or do you prefer them to put their questions on chat?
No, they can directly communicate also. There's no problem. Yeah, you can.
So I'll
Because
put
they all are internal branches and from our team only. So whoever wants to save that all, then they can put it in.
Okay, so I'm promoting everyone to the panelist section. Please put your mics on mute until and unless you would like to ask something.
Right.
I'm putting everyone.
Yeah.
And are we waiting for more because there are only 8 attendees till now?
They're showing 15 participants here. Are there more? No.
Those are us. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but only 8 attendees came. Now I'm promoting them to the panelists. So now participants will increase,
Okay.
including like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Anyway, the core team is there of Nagpur. So whoever joins. If they don't, we'll be doing our sharing of information separately.
Okay.
Just once we just finish up about this student, and then we'll start off without wasting too much time.
Yeah, because I broadcasted it at 10 o'clock only.
Yeah, I know. So it's okay. We had told everyone 10:15, but I know it's going to be too early. So it's okay. Not a problem.
Sorry, I'm just pulling it up on my work laptop because my PC at home doesn't seem to want to connect.
No problem.
Sometimes IT likes to change the configuration around on me and then doesn't allow me to remote access in. So it's stupid sometimes. So this student has been admitted to computer science.
Yes.
Admitted in the sense like, has the student paid the fees?
Yes. Actually, the student was waiting for the visa. The visa was not coming, and I think the last date to defer had gone, and so we had requested that without deduction, if there can be a deferment, because till now the visa has not come. But the student is very keen to study, so like we just kept waiting that if the visa would come, then it would carry on instead of wasting time. But it's October now, and the visa has not come, so we've been forced to defer the case. So that's why we're just wanting clarity about it, because I think there's, as per our understanding, probably there may be a there may be a deduction of tuition fees.
Okay, you want to defer it to Jan 2020?
We don't have an option now because the visas have not come. The student is very keen. The student been studying also, but now there's no option. They're
But
just
the
holding on to the visa outcome.
online classes, right? The student,
Yeah. The student started online classes.
student has already started online classes.
Yes, the student started online classes long time back.
Then deferment, I mean, Richard, you can tell about
Yeah,
it.
that's why like we're stuck in the middle because we just kept hoping the visa would come, but the visa is not coming only. I don't know what they're doing with the visa. They never gave the AIP, nothing. It's just lost under process in the status that shows.
So this student has applied in classes already and are taking classes as we speak.
Yes.
So there is no way to defer an admission once
Okay.
they've started classes.
Okay.
So they have started classes, they have to continue on.
Okay.
Or they can take a semester off classes if they want to, but there's no such thing as deferral once you start classes.
Okay, but is there any problem if they don't get the visa? What happens now? Because the visa's outcome is not coming. That's the only concern. The student is happy to carry on the classes. They don't have a problem.
So right now we understand that the VFS is still not open.
No.
And that they have shifted a lot of the applications to in-country. So within Canada, they'll get a process.
Yes.
So with the new announcement of October 20th, the universities that are on the DLI list will get priority in terms of visa applications for those students.
Right.
So you will see a backlog of those clear up pretty fast.
Right.
We do recommend the student continue taking the classes and wait for January, because they will then maybe February 2nd, they'll get the visa and then they can come over, right?
Okay.
So we still would encourage them to take classes. This student's taking 3 classes, which is good. Make sure they're
student is very interested. There's no problem at all. They're just worried about the visa, that my visa has not come and now what will happen and will I have a fee deduction? Because the last date for deferment had gone. That's the only challenge now. There's nothing else they worry about.
There's no deferment is not even an option.
Okay, then it's fine. Then we'll convey that to the student.
Yeah. So there is no deferment. The student continue taking it.
Okay.
And if for whatever reason, if they don't meet the study permit requirements or whatever else, they can always apply again at another institution or at UNBC again for study permits. Their credit will stay with us. So as a research university, you can transfer to other universities if they want to get into it. So it'll be a lot easier that way.
Okay, fine. So we'll convey to the student, not a problem. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
So just give me a second here.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cat's in my room and now is asking to come out. So just give me a second here while I kick her out.
Sure, no problem. Please take your time. So Dakshita and Ankita is here, so she'll be sitting. I'll be sitting on this side because she's the one who's going to be taking the information along with Sonika's there as well.
Yeah, hello Dakshita. Good morning.
Yeah, hi Ankita. Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, all good. So we have got your team. So I believe these are all your team members only. None of the students are present, right?
No student. We've not told any students.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'm back. So KC Overseas, thank you for joining me today at this presentation for UNBC. Just so we have some housekeeping, the purpose of this presentation is to help you and help you counter your students when they talk about UNBC and better give you an idea of how to promote UNBC. So before we start, I would like to get some answers, or if you can help me to help you, is to basically tell me some things, challenges that you face for promoting UNBC, and how can I help you answer it, right? So there's different challenges. One that Zubin mentioned was the cost of tuition, which I'll go over in a bit. Is there anything else that are challenges for you when you talk to students? You're welcome to unmute yourself to ask your questions, or if you like, you can put in the chat box as well. So it's up to you. On basically, I'm catering, or I'm adjusting this presentation to help you overcome those challenges.
Any Ankita and Sonika and the other team members that you would like to ask?
We just need some information regarding the engineering programs which are offered in UNBC.
Sure.
Because when you look at the website, no, it says that the BSc degrees are there, or BASc degrees, but then none is mentioned as B engineering. So that is the reason when you tell students that, okay, you've got an engineering program at the university, they'll not want to understand sometimes, because they say, no, it's not written B engineering. It's just BSc degree that you are offering me.
It's not BSc, it's BASc.
BASc, yeah. So we understand the terms, but when we tell it to the students, they will start comparing with other universities, that this university is writing B engineering in this particular field, but then why is here it's BASc and not B engineering?
Let me find something here for you so I can show you. I'm just looking up the University of Waterloo. And as you know, the University of Waterloo is probably one of the top engineering school in Canada. I believe their program is also under BASc, which is the Bachelor of Applied Science.
Yeah, so for that's for computer science, I believe. Yes, it's there.
Their environmental engineering is also a BASc as well, if memory serves me right. So I can show you to my screen right now what I'm looking for in terms of how you guys can talk to your clients about this. This is University of Waterloo, okay?
Yeah.
We're looking at their programs abroad, and these are the requirements for them. But looking at what they teach, they're very similar to the courses that we teach at UNBC for our engineering program, especially the environment engineering program. We call it applied science because that's what engineering is. You're applying the science knowledge in an applicable field. So there's also a difference between an MBA and an MSc BA. MBA is an applied business degree versus an MSc BA, which is a research business administration degree. Does that make sense?
Yes, we do understand that, but then at times it becomes difficult for us to explain students. That is the only thing. Otherwise, we are very clear with the terms. Though we do come across certain queries, when when our partners are asking about it, so we do clarify what's the difference between the two or what similarities are there. It's just the student sometimes who doesn't want to understand.
Well,
We show them, I mean, we rather tell them to go through the course contents to understand exactly what the university is offering them.
that's understandable, but they also have to understand that going abroad, you have different naming convention. So in India, a BBA is a Bachelor of Business Administration, whereas our commerce program is called Bachelor of Commerce. So commerce is still business. It's just a different naming convention, right? So
Yeah.
an M.Ed, for example, is a Master of Education, but it could mean something else in different places. So the different naming convention is this. It's different around the world, but there's similarities in terms of the root of the science, where the root of our science is applied science. So if they are still stuck on those naming convention, then I don't know, maybe they're not suited for going abroad if that's the case, because how else are they going to adopt a different culture, right? Or different learning environment or different just different places. It's not going to be India. So this is where I say, hey, if you don't kind of understand this is going to be an engineering degree and it's certified, it's accredited, then I really don't know what to tell you.
Right. No, I definitely understand what, what you are saying, and I agree to that as well. I mean, we'll see what can be done. I mean,
Sure.
and we
So
also had one session conducted with Mehak and Dakshita where they did explain about this. So let's see, let's go forward.
sure, not a problem. I can definitely talk about more about the engineering program and go from there. And just to see the classes and the difference, because we actually have 3 engineering program at UNBC, and we have one with UBC. UBC's engineering program is called Applied Science as well. So you have a top 40 university in the world that's calling their engineering program Applied Science. So how's that different from UNBC? That's the same, right?
Yeah.
So let's go through this presentation. And do you guys have any questions about your challenges other than the engineering question?
You can focus.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, I was saying you can talk something more about the location, the job opportunities that the students have there.
Perfect. So I'm going to start my presentation and just go through all these slides. And if you have any questions, feel free to jump in or leave a question on the chat box, and then we can go from there, okay? So this is UNBC. There's about 96 universities and colleges in Canada. I'm going to skip through all these slides. So UNBC is an hour-away flight from Vancouver. It's about an 8-hour drive if you want to drive. Right now, I don't recommend driving in the winter, so flying is probably the best option. Pre-COVID time, there was 12 flights a day. Right now, I think there were 6 flights a day coming up and down from Vancouver to Prince George. WestJet, Air Canada are frequent flyers up here as well. So this is the city, Prince George. The university is situated on top of a mountain, on top of a hill that overlooks the city. So as you can see here, the university is very spacious. All the buildings are interconnected, so you don't actually have to walk outside in the wintertime. And we have a sports facility on the right side, so students can participate in any sports or if they want to work out. Our average climate time, we are in Canada, so other than Vancouver, you're going to experience snow and winter condition. We're going to skip through these slides. So this is Prince George in a city, just an overview map. So from our airport, which is the very right corner, to our university, it's a 20-minute car ride. So students can take shuttle bus, taxis, cabs over to our main campus. It's only 20 minutes. We call our city 20-minute city because you can get anywhere in the city within 20 minutes. And that's advantage that you get over big city. We also have public transit here that's part of the student fees. So students will be able to utilize that as well. So there's a lot of different opportunities for the students to be able to get around and make their life here at UNBC. So this is our university campus on the right. As far as your eyes can see, that's the university land. So our professors can take our students outside to do some learning. Our main campus is in Prince George. We do have 5 other branch campuses. So international students mostly congregate in the Prince George region. Our undergraduate and graduate, a lot of our research graduates done in the Prince George campus. This is UNBC. This was what it's like 2 days ago, actually, before we had a snow. So the city changes color and there's a lot of orange, which is one of my favorite color. So it's something that you might not be able to see as often in different parts of the world. So this is something that a lot of international students relish as well. It is cold. So University UNBC, that's why our buildings are all interconnected. So once students enter the building, they take off their jackets. They don't have to put on their jackets again to go to different classes. Some of the schools in Ontario, so you're going to have to because you're walking between the cities. University of Ottawa, for example, you have to walk between different city blocks to be able to get to different campuses. So there's different challenges that you have to face. So we are award winning. Unfortunately, this year, we're no longer in top 3 in Maclean's magazine, but we're top 5 for the last 15 years. We're still ranked under Times Higher, top 5 university worldwide. So top 5% worldwide. And we're also one of the 3 young university in the worldwide ranking. Okay. So we're proud to be the only university in British Columbia to be opened by Queen Elizabeth herself. So she came and opened our university, and that's why we have to keep that elite young university status going. So students from over 60 different countries, we're Global U. So this is a slide that I want to go over with you and your team. So there's different types of universities in British Columbia. The highest type is called the medical universities, so medical category. So they offer medical doctorate degree. So the only institution in BC that does that is UBC, University of British Columbia. The second level down, which is research intensive, offers PhD, master, research-based program. And these institutions are UBC, Simon Fraser, UVic, and UNBC, one of the youngest and the smallest of the 4 research universities in BC. Now, there's another category now called the hybrid, which is a combination of teaching and research. They have some research university or courses and masters, but most of them are undergraduate focused. So these institutions are Thompson River, Royal Roads, and then you have the teaching universities such as Capilano University, Vancouver Island University, and then the vocational, BCIT, Langara, Kwantlen Polytechnic, Douglas College. So these are the difference. And UNBC is at the research intensive level, which means that if students take classes here, they can be transferred down to any other institution they want, as long as they meet general requirements. But if you take a class at, say, Langara, they may not be able to transfer up to UNBC or UBC or SFU because they are going from bottom up, whereas down from the top down, it's a lot easier. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you have any questions about that? Okay, so no questions. I'm going to move on. So as a research university, we do have research professors that are sponsored or given money, grants by our government to continue their research and their research focus. So we do have 6 Canada Research Chair. We have a couple endowed chairs, BC Leaders, and Knowledge Mobilization Chairs. So we're expected to expand these number of chairs for Research University to about 20. Currently, we have about 14 right now. We're going to have to increase that to some more. But one thing that we're very proud of at UNBC is that we do have an excellent faculty-to-student ratio with 3,500 plus students. So students can get the personalized attention. Our average first-year class sizes for a university, a research university, is 62. And if students have gone to U of T, UBC, Simon Fraser, the average first-year class sizes could range anywhere from 200 to 500 students. So your students will not get the personalized attention that they may get at our institution. So this is why some people are more geared towards these type of institutions. They may find themselves become more academically stellar because now they realize that, hey, I can't just hide in a big crowd and, get by with just getting a C. No, the teachers or professors are going to push you and to make sure that you understand the subject matter. Okay. So we're also known as Canada's Green University because we focus on environmental programs. That's what we specialize in. So these are who we are. So environmental program is what we UNBC specialize in. We have the Wood Innovation Research Lab that we use different wood products to make tall buildings, or we use the wood on different applicable courses. So for example, right now we're doing acoustic testing with wood, so we can make a wood passive house Orpheum theater. Orpheum theater are generally difficult to make out of wood because wood absorb a lot of sound wave energy, whereas concrete has better bounce off it. They use marbles and whatnot. So our professors are doing research on that. So when you make it out of wood, it's a renewable energy. You're not taking away from the environment. So we are the green way is our life. So we do have different ways and around the university that we're saving on the environments. We use wood waste. So wood waste that's no longer be able to make the wood products, heat up our university, which help reduce our fossil fuel consumption by 85%. We also have an athletic team, soccer and basketball for male and female. We're always looking for top recruits. Unfortunately, this year they're not playing because of COVID. So we are excited to see them come back next year. So we'll talk about the Northern Sports Center a little bit. We have a 280-meter indoor running gym, running track, 3 basketball gyms, and 2 FIFA approved indoor soccer fields. So students can work out in the wintertime if they want to. If they don't, you can join our over 150 different student-led organization. We do recommend students participate in these student-led organization because it helps them develop other soft skills, time management, how to work in teams, how to collaborate together. So we have different clubs, coffee clubs, our compost clubs, our organic green club, our medieval club, jack.org. So we have various different clubs that are available on campus. If students don't want to join student-led organization, they can do study abroad options as well in 15 different countries. So they can take their classrooms to Antarctica. They can do soil sampling with their partners in Europe, or they can go to Death Valley. So these are all options that are available. They can go to Argentina to do ecological digs. So different opportunities. We are big enough to offer groundbreaking research, but yet we're small enough for you to get involved in the first year. And we'll talk more about that in a bit. So these are some of the research fundings that we do give away to our students and also our professors so they can participate in trips in Antarctica research, glacier research, or Amazon forest research, or even research with their partners through Erasmus Fund in their European counterparts. We also have dormitory on campus, which is about 5 minutes away or 207 steps. So the dormitories are apartment style. Students get their own individual bedrooms, which is very COVID friendly. Even now we have 50% capacity, which is even more COVID friendly. So students are then able to have a room in between them. They share the bathroom, kitchen, and living room. So we make sure that students are right now living on campus are ensuring that they are doing the COVID safe practices. This is our dining hall. Our dining hall right now is open from 8 a.m. to about 9 p.m. at night. It's an all-you-can-eat option, so students can go in anytime they want. But pre-COVID time, when the university is running full bore, it's about 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. So unfortunately, we did reduce hours because we don't have as many students on campus right now. So this is a student I want to talk to you about. She's a Brazilian student that chose UNBC, even though she got accepted to Queen's, U of T, and UBC. She chose UNBC because A, we have scholarships that gave her full ride. We also have undergraduate research, which means that she's able to participate in our professor's research project. So by the time she graduated, she had 4 journal articles under her name, which means that when she got time to apply for master's or PhD programs, she had no problem giving writing samples. A lot of the universities also waived the requirement for GRE or GMATs. So she's currently right now a University of Toronto student, a doctoral student. So she went from directly from a bachelor to a PhD. Okay. So we have 62 bachelors, 27 masters, 3 PhDs. So these are some of our general entry programs. General entry meaning that if you meet our minimum requirements, you can get in. So some of the ones that I want to highlight is the environmental and sustainability studies, our nature-based tourism management, our accounting and finance, marketing, our managing information system, which I'll talk about more. Some of our sciences, biology is very popular for Indian students. Biochemistry and molecular biology is also very interesting. Conservation science, these are one of our majors that is under conservation science. Very popular because it teaches about wildlife conservation, landscape conservation and management. So that's not just landscaping, that's actually helping to create a unique environment. So think about zoos and how they create those environments for different animals. We have environmental science. We also have bachelor planning. Our competitive programs are applied science and civil engineering, environment engineering, and the joint program, UBC and UNBC environment engineering. We also have health science and biomedical studies and community and population health and environmental health as well. So looking at the environmental program at UNBC or the engineering program, this is a civil engineering program. It's a 4-year. The number of credits that you take is 151 credits, and that leads to a professional engineering degree. Okay. So these are the things that the students will learn at UNBC for a civil engineer. And these are very similar to the engineering programs that you will take at any other civil engineer school. The only difference is that we specialize in renewable energy technology, climate, cold climate, and geotechnological engineering. So that's the only difference that we have with our civil engineering program. Any questions about this? No, we're good? Okay, moving on. Oh, nope.
Ankita here, sir. So in the degree name, it is mentioned Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. Is it the program name is a Bachelor of Applied Science only?
You're right. I just got these slides today, so I put them into the presentation and I haven't had a chance to review it. But you're right, it is a Bachelor of Applied Science in Civil Engineering. It's not Bachelor of Science.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so that's going to be the same for our other slide as well, because it looks like they didn't change that. So I will just skip that altogether. I'll make sure that I make those changes. And environment engineering, it is the same throughout Canada, except that we specialize in soil, air, and water pollution. So this is the difference between environmental engineering. Wastewater management is something that is going to be big in the world, especially in places like developing countries that have growing population like China, India, even Bangladesh, because a lot of their septic systems and their wastewater was built for 10,000 people. But now you have over 10 million people living in that same space. How do you make it so you're not interrupting the daily lives of those 10 million people, but still able to upgrade it and make sure you improve the quality of lives? So this is something that we do learn at the environmental engineering at UNBC. And the next one is a joint degree. So what does joint degree mean? Is that you get two degrees. So one from UNBC and one from UBC. Okay. So they are jointly provided, but the credits is a lot more. It's 162 credits. So you learn both applied science degrees from UNBC and UBC, and you learn wastewater management and air pollution control, and you get to spend time in UNBC and at UBC. So this is one of our most competitive program. Our GPA cutoff for September 2020 was 89% overall. That is based on the BC curriculum. So for India, I think that's 75, if memory serves me right, for the conversion. But Mehak will be able to provide more information about that. Any questions about this? Okay, so I'm going to go through the cost rundown for each of the program. So as mentioned before, the credit rundown. The UNBC UBC program requires 162 credits. Most degree at UNBC is 120 credits. So students will be paying more because we charge by per credit. Okay, so these are the amount of credits that they will take at each different institution. So as you can see, they take majority of it at UNBC for the joint degree and 72 credits at UBC. Okay, this is an advantage for a lot of students because they don't pay UBC international tuition rate, which I'll show you in a bit. Okay, any questions about the credits offered for our degree, engineering degree? Hearing none, I'm moving on. So we're going to talk about what is managing information system. Okay. Managing information system is a study of people, technology, organization, and relationship between them. So MIS professionals help firm maximize benefits from investment in personnel, equipment, technology, and business processes. Okay. So what type of students would pursue an MIS degree? So students who are good at general problem solving, ability to time manage, see big picture, but also see small details, excellent communicator, and ability to think strategically with technology. Okay. So typical career of an MIS graduates. They can be an IT consultant, web developer, information system manager, business intelligence analyst, business analyst, you have system developer. You have a variety of skill sets right now. And right now, MIS is a hot topic because in Northern BC right now, we lack this type of skill set. A lot of graduates who are, before they even complete the degree, have a job offer before they complete. There's also co-op available for this program as well. So students can participate in co-ops. I know our university hires a lot of MIS major and computer science students as interns to work in our IT department as well. So these are availabilities available for our students. Okay. So let's take a look at the different types of jobs they can get at MIS. So these are the NOC codes for immigration. If you guys talk about immigration, and these are the average wage they'll be paid. Okay. So just look at the job openings from to 2029. There's 7,600 information system analysts and consultant that's required. There is computer programmer, interactive media developer, which is part of web development, 6,000 of them. So these are all available. And if you want to look at more job opportunities in Northern BC, just look at Work BC, labor market industry, high opportunity occupations. Okay, these are all available for our students to take a look at. If you want, we can definitely send the websites on the link and you guys can take a look at it some more. So what is our admission requirements for English? 6.5, no less than 6. We don't have conditional acceptance, so students have to meet our English requirements plus the academic score. The academic score is at least 55 with no core under 50. For competitive program, 60 with no core under 55. Now, this is only applicable for January 2021 and May 21. Starting September 21, they will also have to meet other requirements as well, so prerequisites. We'll go through that at a later date, but right now, let's focus on January and May. So these are the requirements for that. Any questions? Okay, so I won't go through some of the graduate programs that we have, but I will touch base on the MBA program that we are currently promoting right now. So the MBA program is a unique program because it's a 5-semester graduate program that does not require GMAT, and it's only 1 weekend a month in terms of classes. Okay, so the admission requirements for the MBA program is they have to meet at least a 4-year degree unless it's a NOC A accredited institution. 3 years of managerial experience, 3 reference letters, and they have to demonstrate, so 6.5 no less than 6 is the English requirements. The Shita and also Mehek will be able to go through the MBA admission requirements and what type of resumes we're looking for these MBA students. We do not need GMAT, so students do not need to participate in GMAT for that. Okay. So the GPA for the MBA is at least a 3.0 in the last 60 credits. So if the student has done a 3-year degree and completed another 1-year diploma program, then we'll look at the 1-year diploma program and the last year of the graduate degree. Okay. Finance and scholarship. So the difference between living in the Lower Mainland and living up here is that the cost of living up in Prince George is a lot lower. If you want to live on campus, it's about $5,000 for per academic year. You want to be on the meal plan, it's also about $5,000. If you want to go off campus, it's about $7,500 per academic year. Okay, that depends on if you're sharing a 1-bedroom suite or if you're a 2-bedroom suite or if you're sharing with more than a couple people. They can drop that down to, I know one Indian group of students, they live together. I think there's 4 of them, and they drop down their rents to $300 each. So that's quite significant drop for the students. Based on 30 credits and 2 semesters, tuition rate's about $22,000. So undergraduate tuition anywhere from $22,000 to $25,000, depending on what program you're in. If you're in engineering, it's being closer to $25,000 than the $22,000 if you're in a Bachelor of Commerce, for example. Any question about finance? Hearing none, talk about engineering. So engineering, if you include all the books and fees, they're about $26,000 or so for any of our engineering program at UNBC. But if you take a look at the joint degree program, if you go to UBC, the tuition rate almost doubles. So looking at the UBC tuition rates, you'll see that it doubles, and how much you pay for an engineering degree at UBC and UNBC is $165,000. But for the same degree program, you pay $113,000. So which one's more affordable? It really depends on your students. So there's almost about $53,000 difference, not including any additional living fees, between the 2 environmental engineering program. So if cost is something that is important to the family, then this is something that they need to look into. Okay. Any questions on this? Hearing none, moving forward. So this is the MBA tuition. We're at $8,160 per semester. So multiply that 5. It's roughly about $40,000 for the MBA, and it's a general MBA program. Any questions about the MBA? Okay. So looking at the different research university, remember UNBC is a research intensive university in British Columbia. Looking at the domestic tuition, our domestic tuition is relatively about the same for all domestic students. But looking at international tuition, our international tuition range from $22,000 to $26,000, whereas UBC is almost $40,000 to $50,000. Why are we so much more affordable? It's because of where we are. Our cost of living is a lot lower. It doesn't cost us as much to be up here. So that's why, but our quality assurance as a research institution has to be at a certain level, and it's accredited by the Ministry of Education in British Columbia. So our tuition rate has to remain about the same. I mean, even in the domestic tuition rate, we are a little bit more affordable than SFU and UBC or UVic. Okay. On top of that, we do give away $3.5 million of scholarship every year. 1 in 4 students will receive a scholarship at UNBC, and the scholarship is not merit-based. Students would have to apply, get admitted, then they go through a UNBC, My UNBC portal to apply for scholarship. Okay. So that's the end of my presentation. Any general questions that you may have? So while you guys think of questions, I'm just going to drink water.
Any questions that you guys have, please put it on the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask us. Anything that you would like to know. I believe that there are many doubts, many general doubts, just like, how much gap is accepted and so on and so forth.
So
any
go ahead.
backlogs? I mean, could you tell us more about the backlogs? How many backlogs are accepted in a 3-year or 4-year degree?
For a graduate program, MBA program?
Yes.
Dashita, we said.
Yeah. So it's basically like we will be taking not more than 5 backlogs, and the percentage should be 65% and above. Also, if it's a 3-year, it has to be a NAC-A accredited university. Then only we'll be considering 3 years. Otherwise, we'll be considering 4 years.
So the scores of IELTS is 6.5, no less than 6. For TOEFL is 90, no less than 20 in each of the module. For PTE, I don't remember exactly. Maybe Mahak and Dashita will be able to get back to you on that.
It is 65 overall, no component less than 60.
Thank you, Mahak. So looking at why you would want to come to a small university and a small city like Prince George for your students, and I'm going to give you some advantages. Now, these are immigration related, and right now I have to put a disclaimer saying that I'm not RCIC accredited yet, but I have completed the program, and I'm just waiting for my examination. So why you want to come to a small city? A, you get additional 5 points for your BCPMP right off the bat because you're not in a big city, okay? And BCPMP are looking for people who want to live outside of the lower mainland. On top of that, with express entry as well, if you're going to do an express entry BCPMP application, or even just an express entry based on Canadian experience class, you get additional points for being outside of the city, outside of major cities. Prince George currently have less than 75,000 people, so it's considered a rural city under the IRCC standard, but we are a big city in British Columbia. And what does that gives you an advantage? It gives the students more points because we're considered rural under IRCC's policy. Now, the advantages of being in a smaller city is that it's easier to get a job. I mean, look at the amount of students that go to Vancouver, to Toronto, and a lot of students who graduate have troubles getting a job, or they're working at very labor-intensive jobs. Whereas a lot of graduates are working in blue-collar or even white-collar type jobs, meaning that they're office workers, or if they're in IT, they're working for hospitals, or they're working for our big companies out here. Our cities hire a lot of our students as well. So the big employers up here are our lumber industry, our the city, our university, and even surrounding regions. A lot of our students go to Alberta and they find jobs in Alberta because they're able to get those type of opportunities out there as well. So, and the other part is the big 4 accounting firms that come to our university twice a year before COVID, they love hiring our students because of the fact that our students are mobile. They're willing to go anywhere else in Canada versus the students that they hire in Vancouver only want to stay in Vancouver. Okay. Any questions on all these?
Yeah, so how much gap is accepted for MBA? That was the question. The gap that is accepted for MBA is basically like 3 years of managerial experience is what we want. And if someone has got more than 3 years of managerial experience, well and good. But 3 years of managerial experience is mandatory.
Yeah, so for gap for MBA, it can go as high as 10, but we cautious that because that's when you're going to get visa issues. If they're over the age of a certain age and they're applying for MBA program, then you might have a less visa success rate. So that's where we cautious it. If it's anywhere between 3 and 5, that's kind of the ideal range, and that's what we've noticed for the MBA program. Does that answer your question?
Maybe. Okay. So anything else that you would like to ask Richard? Because I believe that at his 10:30 p.m. he has given us a lot of information related to the programs, related to the city, related to the affordability, related to, this session would have been more than just a UNBC session, just to understand that how the university structures are or how the education system are. So anything else do you need to ask apart from this? Because we believe that after knowing all of these points you will be able to recruit more students for UNBC.
So also, go ahead.
Sonika, Zubin, anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a
I
query.
believe there are no.
No, there's a query about from one of the participants that is it overall 3 years experience or 3 years managerial experience? I believe it's going to be managerial experience, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And if the student has a 3-year graduation, but they're willing to do a WACE evaluation, would that be acceptable? If it's not NAC accredited, but they're doing a WACE evaluation, would that be acceptable?
We prefer that they don't, because that makes it a little bit challenging for students to get their visa.
Okay.
And they have to go through a second stage of WES accreditation when they go through their study permit, or sorry, not the postgraduate work permit and PR application as well. So it makes it quite challenging, actually.
Okay. All right. No problem.
So if there's not anything else, then
One question I have is, what if somebody has done 10 plus 3 years of diploma? Will that be acceptable for all the undergraduate degrees?
As long as they have their academic scores or academic subjects, then they are, we can admit them, but they have to meet the academic requirements. So for example, if they need math, for example, or if they need science, so these subjects have to be academic in nature.
Okay, so someone asked me about the IELTS score. So it's 6.5, not less than 6, and TOEFL. Mehak, do you want to elaborate on each and every score?
90 overall, no component less than 20 for TOEFL.
Okay.
And just want to add that UNBC is a great undergraduate school. A lot of our students go towards their master's or PhD afterwards. So if your student has that aspiration and they want to learn how to do research at an undergraduate level, then we are the ideal school for you. A lot of our international students actually get their PR and come back and do their master's. I've been at UNBC long enough to actually experience that, where we have students get their PR after their Canadian experience class, come back and do their master's, even though our masters, especially the research masters, are very affordable. It's because they're able to build that relationship with our professors, and the professors are willing to supervise them, that they can come back so easily. On top of that, it's because our professors know what we taught them, so they know how to do research, right? So as a research intensive university, we're always looking for students who are capable of doing research and understanding how research works.
I believe that's it. Anything else, Zubin and Sonika, that you would like to conclude?
No, I don't think so. I think it's got really late there. And thank you very much, Richard, for sharing all the information. And I'm really hoping that the team will get their act together and be able to push the numbers. And we'll convey about those 2 students for the scholarships, which I spoke about. And probably we could take your help for counseling them if required directly as well.
Sure.
Yeah, we take help of Dakshita and Mehak probably to speak. We've got those 2 students who are very focused on UNBC, and they've been speaking about the scholarship. So yeah, we'll share the information with them.
Yeah, if they want to take a look at what the campus looks like, they can go on our Facebook and take a look at the campus tour that we have set up for them. Depending on what students are looking for. Surprisingly, at UNBC is one of the only institutions that I've worked at that allows undergraduate students to be a teaching assistant.
Okay.
And that is another way of where international students are able to make money as well. And it doesn't apply to the 20 hours because it's on campus. So I've had students who work 20 hours off campus and still be a teaching assistant or a research assistant on campus as well.
Okay.
So that doesn't violate the work permit that they have.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you for giving us your time for your 1.5 hours in the night. It really means a lot. And what we will do over here is we'll make sure to give you more and more applications from KC.
Yeah, sure.
Now?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also hope to meet.
Yes.
I also hope to meet every one of you when I do get to travel again to visit India.
Sure.
And if you guys can hit the numbers that Dashita is happy with, she'll buy you guys all gifts.
Sure. Thank you, Dakshita.
A meal maybe. A biryani meal maybe together.
Okay.
So
okay. Anyway, thank you very much and good night. And you've got a session in the morning as well, early morning again?
I have a 5 a.m. session.
Okay, so you don't have much time to sleep and we won't hold you long now. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful day and nice to meet you guys all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.